If you look on my channel, I have a brief description of what taro root and the taro root leaves look like. Today I'm going to be making a dish with the taro leaves and then the root as well. The stew is popularly known as Nkontomire Stew in Ghana. There are many variations of it. You can cook it with some fish, some meat, or you can cook the taro root, which is cocoyam, with either plantain or yams. Whichever way you choose is okay. But today I'm just going to make the Nkontomire stew and show you how to cook the cocoyam, which is the taro root. I often use chicken breast with the bone in. So sometimes I take out the meat. So today I'm just going to make do with the bones, as it is full of calcium. So into this pot I have smaller pieces of 2 chicken breasts that with the bone in that I used, and I cut into smaller pieces. I'll be seasoning it shortly. The other ingredients are 2 cloves of minced garlic, 1.5 tablespoons of grated jalapeno pepper, 1.5 teaspoons of nutmeg. I often make use of everything in my fridge. I had this big bell pepper that was kind of going bad, so I decided to wash it up, cut it into pieces and blend it. I'll be mixing it with a fresh tomato here. So I got this tomato by cutting up tomato of this size. I had about 5 of them and I blended it up to get this. And then you need 1.5 tablespoons of tomato paste, some Himalayan salt, garlic salt, some chili pepper, and often we use palm oil. And this is the version that I found around here. I'm not going to use too much of it, just a tablespoon to 2. And then I'll of course be using one of my favorite oils these days, the hemp oil. I'm going to parboil the meat for a bit with some of the garlic salt. That should be enough. Today I don't have any onion, so that's why I didn't show onion as an ingredient. But for this stew you do need onion if you want, but right now I don't have any, but you can still make do with whatever ingredients that you have. So I'll bring this to a boil for about 10 minutes. Make sure the seasoning is okay in the meat, then I'll start preparing the stew. Okay, I'm going to be cutting off the heads of the taro leaves here, and then after that I'll just break them into 2 pieces like this, and then chop it up. You do not have to chop it the way I'm doing. You can put it on a chopping board and go ahead and then do it. So I'll continue cutting till I'm done. Then I'll boil this in a little bit of water with salt and show you the remainder of the process for the taro leaves. So when you cut, you get some very nice slices. Okay, after cutting, this is how it will look like, but I'll further cut this up. So you can use a chopping board. So normally you just hold it together this way and then cut them up into smaller pieces. Okay, that's how easy it is. But use a chopping board if you're not comfortable using the knife this way. In this pot here I have 2 cups of water, and into it there are many ways to do this. You can wait until the water boils, but I do not want to take that route today. So I'm just going to be putting this into the water and then let it come to a boil. And I've cut them into smaller pieces. You can just put it into the stew like that, or use a special grinding equipment to break it down further, which I'll be showing when the taro leaves or the Nkontomire is cooked. So this has been parboiling for about 10 minutes. I'm going to take it off fire, then put my next pot on. Into the pot I'm going to be adding the oil. Normally we make this stew with some palm oil, but I'm just going to add a little bit. And then add my hemp oil, not too much. And then into this I'm going to add the pieces of meat to fry it a little bit. with the seasonings that I'll be putting in shortly. And as you see, there's just enough broth to lighten up the stew should the need be. And to this, I'll add the minced garlic. And then stir it around. If you had onion, pieces of onion, this is the stage that you put it in. And I'll add my nutmeg. You could have added the nutmeg just a little bit before taking off the stew. And I'll add my blended bell pepper, red bell pepper. So in place of tomato, you can use blended bell pepper and your stew will turn out very great. And I'll add the blended tomato as well, and the tomato paste. I'll stir this all together. Add my jalapeno pepper and stir it all up. I'll let this boil for an additional 10 minutes. I will taste to see how the salt is before I add more salt if the need be, and then I'll add some chili pepper should I need it as well, because remember the jalapeno pepper is kind of spicy. Okay, I'm going to stir the taro leaves or Nkontomire here. I'll stir it around and let it boil some more. You can let it boil till there's just a little bit of water, so that you cook and make use of the water from the taro leaves. Okay, I'm going to be pouring in the broth and let it cook there. The taro leaves are cooked halfway, or in Nkontomire. I'm going to be putting it into this special utensil here that we call potoyoa, and then I'll grind it all up. You do not have to do that. If you do not have this utensil, that should be perfectly fine, because at this stage, the way I chopped it up, it will be ready to go into the stew after some few minutes. I've made use of the water from the cooking of the taro leaves. It's a great idea, as that water contains most of the nutrients from the Nkontomire leaves or taro leaves. So I'm just going to mash it around a little bit, not too smooth, and then I'll later put it in the stew. Okay, I'm going to be adding some chili pepper. I tasted it and I feel I need it hotter than it is. So I'm going to add some chili pepper to it. About half teaspoon will be okay, or you can eliminate it altogether, but we like it hot around here. So that's about right. Then you stir it around. Just before adding the taro root leaves or the Nkontomire, it's a great idea to taste the stew to be sure everything is okay. I did taste it, and then the salt and pepper is fine. So at this stage, I'm going to be pouring in my Nkontomire or taro leaves. If you do not have this vegetable, you can use collard greens, some spinach, and that should be fine. So you stir it around. I didn't use a lot of palm oil. We are cutting back on oils around here. But it's a great idea to add just a little bit of palm oil to give it that nice red color. So I'll lower the heat and let it simmer for 5 minutes, and my Nkontomire stew would be ready. Okay, after 5 extra minutes of cooking, my Nkontomire stew is ready to go. So this is how you make Nkontomire stew. You could have added some dry fish, canned fish, dry shrimp, and it will equally be fine. So this, if you know how to make this stew, you definitely know how to make palaba sauce. Palaba sauce is made exactly this way, except that there's a little twist at the end. You add a different vegetable to it. But today I'm just showing you how to make Nkontomire stew, which is taro root stew. So there you have it.